Joe, can I read a few more of these wonderful?
No, I. You know what? I have to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was in a great mood when I came in here,
and
then all of a sudden, you did something to me.
He's $600 in the hole.
I'm
Is that it?
$600 in the hole in 2 days, and I frankly, I think this last one was mean spirited.
How did I know she was going to be able to pull it off?
Because you spoke about it 5 minutes ago.
I don't know that I mentioned it 5 minutes
Yeah,
Is
ago.
that
you
on
did.
the air or off the? I don't remember.
It was on the air.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you gotta lighten
Well,
up.
people are busy in the morning, too. They
That's
got
right.
the TV
They're-
on. They're
right.
the radio
Oh, really,
doing
Jeff?
this.
You're going to apologize
Yeah.
for him?
They're in
Listen,
the shower
normally
doing
I
this.
consider you to be like Switzerland, but if you want to take his side,
It's Joe. It's kind of like I look at it like here. The listeners don't always listen. It's kind of like you with a jury. You'll be talking away, and people just don't listen.
what'd you say? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, boy. Anyway, I want to read just a couple of these comments on the No Hospital page, Joe, because these are your people.
This is no hospital, right?
This is the No Hospital Downtown group.
These are your people.
WIBX, once a storied and trusted morning talk show radio station, has clearly lost its way. There are really good people at WIBX. The little guy, that's me, not being one of them. And then you got a whole bunch of
Is
people
that saying
in here.
that you didn't lose your way?
I
how-
don't know what the.
Well, I'm kind of bitter this morning, so
I know you
probably,
are.
you might
Well,
not want
let me read a few more of these. This person says, "Spot on, Jim. All the little guy likes to do is bully, torment, and vilify people he does not agree with, and WIBX condones his bad, disgusting behavior. He has never lasted more than a few years at any one radio station. I'm shocked that WIBX has put up with his nonsense as long as they have."
And who'd that comment come from?
Jim Zacka.
I'm surprised we've put up with Jim's nonsense as long as we
Jim,
have.
Speaking of being tormented, lose my phone number.
Jim, I have tolerated your nonsense since I've been here, and it's been more than a couple of years, by the way. It's been 6 years. And we let you come in. When I will tell you, other people would say, why do you let that moron come in? Why do you let him spew off? And I've always said he has every right. He's a candidate or a community advocate or whatever the hell we've labeled him. And I've always felt that he had the right to speak out, even if I didn't agree. But apparently, this is the treatment that I get by. Now he's one of your guys, that Jim Zacka.
As the chair of the city party, Republican Party, obviously I'm juggling a lot of people who have disparate opinions. And I don't share in a lot of their positions or their opinions, but what I try to do is encourage debate. And
Sounds like what I do.
well, I mean that
I like a good debate.
yeah, and so where I draw the line generally is personal attack, and that's anytime I run a meeting or I'm involved in these things, that's where I draw the line. I try not to personally attack anybody. I don't condone personal attacks by one person against the other. But I do think that the lively exchange of ideas is important, and that is what our government, well, up until 17 or 16, that's actually, it goes back a little bit farther than that. Now, if you disagree with somebody, you might be un-American or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
But and there's no room for compromise or consensus. So I'm hoping that at some point, we can set aside all of these personal attacks. And I don't agree with everything that the positions that you take, and I don't agree with all of the positions that other people take, but I respect the fact that you can have
An opinion.
That opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really front and center on this issue with the hospital. My thought, and again, this is just, I guess, having been involved in government for a long time, is there's going to be a site selected if it happens to be and it ends up being fulfilled in Utica. How can we minimize the impact on the taxpayers in Utica? Because that's where I'm from, and that's what I'm responsible for. So, that's the approach that I think at some point is going to have to be taken.
Unlike this ridiculous,
Bill.
Apparently
Look at
terrible.
the one thing that I want to say is I know that you're a proponent of the downtown hospital. They're opponents of the downtown hospital.
But I'm not going to get into a fight with them
over
it.
But why call it? My point is,
Joe,
can disagree, but why call it ridiculous?
Because you're passing judgment without knowing what you're talking about. Let me finish. What is ridiculous is posting a female's picture up there saying it's somebody's baby.
That has nothing to do with the hospital issue at this point.
It does, because that's the reason they're going after him. That's why that group, that they're all tied together. That's why they're going after him. My point is, would you agree that's ridiculous?
Yes, I would.
And that's a weak word.
Well,
a weak word for what they're doing.
I think it's inappropriate.
Yeah.
And I think it's
disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I also think, frankly, it saddens me. It really does.
Because that was your initial response to me when I sent it to you.
Because it's just not focusing on the issue,
Yeah.
the issues at hand. But I'm just saying that words like ridiculous, when you're using them, that tends to anger other people, just like words they use.
But the word ridiculous was describing posting things about someone's personal life.
I completely.
That's where and you cut me off.
Agree.
You cut me off before I could finish. And listen, I have to tell you, Jim Brock and Brett Truitt were on this show several times until they took a strategy from Claudia Tenney that was, how you get to them is you don't go on his show anymore. So Jim, of course, following in Claudia's footsteps, that's their mantra, and they all did it. That whole group, they all did it. So him saying that I'm not fair is BS. He would be able to come on. A debate is good for a community, and he'd be able to come on and spew his red district stuff or whatever it is that he was against. I gave him the chance to do it, and that to me is the American way.
You know that my opinion.
It's the American way.
Yes, you know that my opinion is that shying away from the show or any kind of show, frankly,
hurts your cause.
It hurts your cause. You have to come on and be able to advocate your position. And look, we cut each other off. We yell. We scream. We do
you
this,
cut
we
me
do
off.
that. I cut you off. Yeah, you're right. I do.
You do,
and rightly so. But my point is that we can have a debate, and we have had many debates over the years. And I just think that not coming on somehow, like you're missing an opportunity to persuade. You're missing an opportunity to advocate.
Yeah.
And frankly, you're missing an opportunity, if you're a candidate, to demonstrate.
And communicate.
And demonstrate your ability, your abilities to lead.
Jim is posting right now as we speak. What
he
is he
has
saying?
been. I just want to, for the record, say that since we discussed the Yes Hospital St. Luke's Facebook posts, I personally reached out to Jim and once again invited him to come on, and there was no response.
What is he saying this morning? What's he?
The little man in the morning on WIBX is truly.
That's me. Same size as Jim Brock, by the way.
The little man in the morning on WIBX is truly a despicable creature and a liar. Karma is certainly headed his way.
See, what's up with the name calling? I just don't. I don't like it going in either direction or any direction. There's just no reason for it.
Here's another one. The most troubling thing for WIBX, it was the most trusted and fair media outlet in the Mohawk Valley until they hired a shock jock. The little man has destroyed the public trust WIBX once enjoyed.
I kind of like the little man.
I do.
You're the little man.
We like it so much we actually embraced it. And let me give you an example. Can you play a little?
First news with the little guy in the morning on WIBX.
Napoleon Keeler.
It is St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yes. Try to pick me out of the parade. I'm going to be dressed in green. You won't recognize me. You might recognize.
Where's that gold?
My height.
I just think that, I wish that everybody would just stop with the personal attacks and in any direction.
What I find interesting is that they say that I berate. I call people names. If I disagree with them, the problem is today, if you disagree with someone, all of a sudden that is perceived as you're being horrible, you're being mean, no, I just disagree. And I'm for the hospital going downtown. And I've been that way since the beginning. And does that make me a mean person? No, I just have an opinion. But allowing someone to come on the radio, if I were to say, no, you can't come on because you have this opinion that is against the hospital, I'm not going to let your voice be heard, that would be the true crime.
Well,
that I have never done. I have urged them to come on the air.
Well, frankly, I think that you always encourage that.
Always.
You want to have a discussion about it, and I just think it's important for them to come on the show and advocate their position, because this idea that you're just going to boycott the show and then hear about things, secondhand or listen afterwards and never interact, it just seems like it's just taking any power that they might have, they're giving it away.
I agree.
So,
wait a minute. Wait one God-blessed moment. We just agreed today. I want to celebrate. Let's give away more of his money. We'll do it that way. I got a break. We'll come back here at WIBX.